What's up, everybody? Welcome to Political Fight Club. Real quick episode here. We're going to talk about Occupy Congress and what the People's Party is doing today. Sorry I didn't get this to you earlier. I didn't see it until yesterday. So it starts today. I'm going to give you the details on what they're doing and why I think it's awesome what Nick Brown and the People's Party are doing today and in the future. Okay. Firstly, though, I'm going to get Triggered Part 2, the second part of Triggered by Don Jr. Ian's going to read that today. I said it was going to be earlier in the week, but he's had car trouble, so I'm actually going to go over to his house today, and he's going to film it on my phone at his place. It's going to be a long episode. That'll be up tonight. So hope you guys enjoy that as well. Let's talk about the People's Party. What they are doing is they're calling the squad's bluff. They are pushing the squad to put their money where their mouth is in a way that I love. They're just doing a protest in the same way that Cori Bush and AOC staged that protest recently to extend the eviction moratorium. Now, that was a photo op. It was manufacturing consent for a shitty targeted moratorium that we knew was likely going to get shot down by Congress, or by the Supreme Court, Anyway, Congress had 2 months to actually extend the eviction moratorium or to make housing a human right in America, and they didn't do it. They did a fake staged protest with only their interns on the steps of Congress so that they could manufacture consent for a shitty one, and so that they could get a little bit of their street cred back, act like progressives, to dupe a lot of the dopes that are actually on the left into thinking that they're actually doing something like Kyle Kalinske. Hook, line, and sinker, he was all over that shit. Same with TYT and all them. So what the People's Party is doing is actually going to do that. They are getting a whole bunch of activists and spreading the word, and I'm spreading the word right now. I'll post a link to this below. Starts at 3 today on the steps of Congress. Get out there, as many people as we possibly can, and we're going to be forcing these things. We have some demands, which I'm going to read to you, and what this really does, guys, is it is going to expose the squad for being for more frauds. Like, they're already pretty exposed right now, but it's going to expose them further by, if you go and do this, the squad is put in a position where they can either let it dissipate and all these activists are going to get arrested by the cops and the protest will last a day or two, maybe 3, and then it'll be over because they won't go out and help, which is what I think they'll probably do. If you're lucky, you'll get a couple of them out there for a few hours for a photo op. They might do that just to say that they were part of it. But what really needs to happen, and what the People's Party is really counting on, is we want them to come out and protest with us, because that's the only way the protest will actually be successful for these things that they say they're for. So if they really are for extending the eviction moratorium, if they really are for a lot of the things that they campaigned on that they're not fighting for right now, the choice is easy. They go out and they join this protest with the People's Party, get on a megaphone, start rallying, and stay out there for a day or a week or however long it takes. Just go out there and protest with the people that put you there. But they're not going to do that. They're bought and paid for by the establishment now, and when they don't do anything, when the People's Party does this, forces their hand, it's going to expose them further for being frauds. So I like it. It's let's get as many cameras on it as possible. Let's get as many people out there as possible. Now I'm going to read to you real quickly from the People's Party here. When Cori Bush hit the steps of the Capitol building, the squad were working to spread extend the moratorium hashtag, but the incrementalist hashtag was going nowhere. The People's Party called on folks to join and take steps to Occupy Congress, and the call hashtag Occupy Congress went trending in a matter of hours. Folks are ready to take bold action and stand together for a movement that demands real change because we're tired of kicking the can down the road. When the eviction moratorium expired a few weeks ago, Cori Bush and the squad slept on the steps of the Capitol to demand an extension. They even claimed they were standing for housing as a human right, yet they dismissed calls for rent forgiveness and celebrated the Biden administration's non-solution, which hinged on $46 billion in rental assistance that isn't being distributed. Biden's extension was just struck down by the Supreme Court, who ruled that Congress needed to pass legislation months ago. The Supreme Court had told Congress and Biden that another extension would require this legislation, but the squad still settled for a non-solution. Millions are facing eviction again. That's at the beginning of October, guys. So, a month. They could have demanded, millions are facing eviction again, but now, crickets. The Democrats have left the steps of the Capitol and nothing has changed. just proving once again we don't need heroes, we need organizers by the thousands to stand up and stand together. The squad had the eyes of the media and the nation. They could have demanded more. They could have called for housing as a human right. They could have pushed for legislation to protect people's homes. They could have pressured states to distribute the rental assistance. They didn't, and now they're on vacation. Friends and allies of the People's Party like Lee Camp and Jimmy Dore are ready to support our movement and even join us on the steps of the Capitol if we take fearless action to support millions in dire need. Click above to cast your vote before the voting closes at 6:30 p.m. Friday. Join the national call tonight. Don't worry about that. They had Paula Jean Swearingen on that call. The squad's actions at the Capitol didn't start there. They followed a People's Party action at AOC's office in the Bronx just days earlier that demanded AOC and the squad use their social media following, press, and celebrity to organize direct actions at the Capitol and stand up for Medicare for All and other policies they claim to support. The rally made national and international news after People's Party Advisory Council member Susan Sarandon told the squad that, quote, "We're losing hope here that you represent us." And that's what they're doing. They're gonna force the squad's hand. Either they're gonna join the protest out on the steps of the Capitol, and they're gonna allow it to be sustained, because if they don't go out there and rally with these people and protest with these people, the cops will break it up within a matter of days, maybe a matter of hours. But if they go out there and say, no, I'm part of this protest, I'm helping these people, I believe in what they're fighting for, it can be sustained, the numbers can grow, and then we might actually have something. But the squad isn't here. They're not in. We put them in office to do what we want them to do and to do things like this protest, but they've been co-opted. They're corrupt. And this is going to show that, because they're not going to do anything. At best, they'll go down and get a photo op to say that they were part of it, but they won't stay out for more than a couple of hours or maybe a day if you're lucky. None of them are going to be sleeping on the steps anymore. So I hope I'm wrong. I would love nothing more than to see all of the squad out there showing solidarity with the People's Party and saying, no, all of us are going to sleep on the steps. And even better than that, if you wanted to get a general strike going, this would be a great step if the squad all went out there and said, no, we're starting a general strike right now. All of us are going to sleep on the steps, and we're not going to work, and we're going to vote as a block and just destroy everything that you guys try to put through Democratic Party. Every bill is DOA until you give us these 5 things. And, of course, Medicare for All, you could do easily without having to go through Congress, by the way, legalize marijuana. You could cancel all student loan debt, Medicare for All under Section 1881 Alpha of the Social Security Act, and you pardon all of the whistleblowers. Those are the main 4 Joe Biden can do with the flick of a pen. You could add other things in there like $15 minimum wage. You could do housing as a human right, meaning extend the moratorium and end homelessness, which only costs $20 billion and could be included in the infrastructure bill. You go with those 7 or 8 things and say, listen, we're not going to go back to work, and we're going to shoot down everything the Democrats do for the next 2.5 years. Regardless, it's all dead on arrival unless you give us these things, period, and we're out here protesting. And you know what would happen? There'd be 10,000 people within a couple of days. There'd be 100,000 people within a week or two. And once all those people are out there protesting, it's going to get real hot in Joe Biden's Oval Office. But the squad aren't there to do that, even though that's what we put them there for. They're there to neutralize protests, which is what they did with the last thing. So we'll see what they end up doing. Methinks they'll go down, they'll pretend they're part of it, they'll get some pictures, and then they'll leave, and then they'll have the cops kick the shit out of a couple of activists and have them break it up. That's what they'll have them. That's what the Democrats will have the squad do. So I hope I'm wrong, but I'll post a link to this below. It's on the steps of Congress, 3 p.m. today. Until further notice, that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm just passing the word along, guys. Keep fighting the good fight out there. I'll talk to you later.